Hi everyone, I thought I'd make a little video about like the 100% raw thing versus, let me put some bit of light on me here. How do I do that? Like this, okay. It's kind of bad lighting, but who cares? Uh, oh, that's bad lighting. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing with lighting, but okay, whatever. Um, can't do this. Anyway, so like steamed, like the difference between 100% raw and not quite 100% raw, but like adding in some steamed vegetables or something like that. What's the difference, you know? And see, people have asked me that sometimes. What's the difference? But should I give up like the steamed vegetables or whatever? Now, the first thing for me in my time following this diet and lifestyle is when someone says to me, I'm 100% raw apart from have some steamed vegetables now and again. That phrase usually means something else. One or two things I would imagine. One is that they just straight up eat cooked food every single day because there's not many people that can control it. I'm pretty much going to go out on a limb and say there's no one that can control it. I've never seen it. I've never been able to do it myself. So I know the levels that I'm able to deprive myself or control myself or whatever when it comes to food. Um, but I've never been able to consistently stay on a diet where I'm adding in cooked food now and again and just going right back to raw. Never ever worked for me. Could never do it. Always the balance would shift back to a mostly cooked diet. Every single time. Doesn't matter how long you go raw either. Um, so it could be the case that the person just isn't in their mind. They think they're there because of they eat a large volume of raw food, but it's not quite the same thing. Or they're still in a transition process where they are going for like days raw, going back to cooked, weeks raw, going back to cooked, even months raw, going back to cooked. Like that's still in a transition kind of a phase. So I would say that someone is really committed to raw when they've done 100% raw, mm, at least 2 years maybe. That's when a person's really not going to go back at that point. You might fall back, but you're always going to orientate back to raw, I believe. Um, and the people that have done a year of raw, claiming to, and then went back to cook food, or like Ravana, who did raw supposedly for a few years, then went back to cook food, and like there was no difference. Nonsense. That's total nonsense, and I'm guessing they weren't raw, 100%. I'm talking about like no cooked food. If you understand, like, I don't know if I can get this across to you in terms of this lifestyle. It's no cooked food. It's not some cooked food. It's not mostly raw food. It's the lifestyle I follow is no cooked food. Some of you might call me out and say, well, you have uh, pasteurized juice or something now and again. Um, which I actually rarely have because pasteurized juice is not addictive like cooked food is. So that's why I don't worry about it. There's things like that. If you were to say to me the healthiest whole food plant based meal or the least healthy pasteurized juice, like Coca Cola and McDonald's got together to pasteurize some juice together or whatever, I don't know. And they selected like the fruits with the highest amount of, I don't know, whatever. Like, I would still go for that every time over the healthiest. And that's the difference between someone that has the raw mindset and mentality is that I know the cooked food only leads to way more cooked food every single time. The pasteurized juice is a one off because you have it and you go, I'd probably rather have a smoothie that I make myself, or I'd rather have whole fruit, or I'd rather have my own freshly squeezed juice, you know. So that's I don't really compare the two things health wise, although I'm absolutely sure any pasteurized juice beats any whole food plant based steamed veggie meal a million times every time. Every time. We're not really meant to eat cooked food. Like I don't like it's not an option for me. If I do it, it's a mistake. And it's not. I'm trying to give you the mentality that when I meet someone, I know if they're raw or not because of the mentality. Grant Campbell is a good friend of mine. Um, there's a whole bunch of other people that are 100% raw. There's not that many though. But you've got to understand that it's not an option. And that's where you have to get to follow a lifestyle where you have a chance of being at your highest level of health, I believe. And Grant, we've talked about this a lot, like, but it's a thing that raw people we can really only share with each other sometimes because when people are eating cooked food, it's an addiction, and it's uncomfortable to bring that up with people, and it's uncomfortable to say you're addicted to that. That's why you have it all the time. That's why you can't control it. I've realized that some people with certain types of personalities, here's the difference between me with food. I'm happy to admit I'm not in control. A lot of people cannot accept that. They cannot accept. And in fact, with all of life, I'm not in control of even myself, and my own decisions. I'm not always in control. I'm happy with that. I can try and move myself towards doing the habits that allow me to do the things I want to do, but I can't force myself to do anything. I need to negotiate with myself, move myself gradually towards whatever, any change I want to make in my life. When it comes to your diet, way more than anything else, you can't force yourself overnight to make this change. But you have to be very honest with yourself and humble and understand you're not in control and just gradually move towards it at a pace that your body, your mind, your psychology will allow. It will not allow you to force it. You're not in control. Your body, your subconscious, all of those systems, they are in control. You cannot, you're not in control of your heartbeat, your lungs, your liver, you have some level of control. You can go out and run and make your heartbeat go up, but your body's going to stop you running way before you need to, and you just don't have control because you it wouldn't be it wouldn't be good for you to have control. Anyway, you don't have control, right? So accept that. You can't have a cooked food meal and go back to 100% raw the next day with no consequences and no cravings and no desire to eat more cooked food. You just can't. You're not in control of that. Um, but why? So that's really the mentality for me as to why I wouldn't have steamed. So steamed veggies, you would say, is that the least harmful cooked food? I don't even know if cooked food is that harmful. It's not really about that for me. I suspect that it is, but even if it wasn't, which I suspect it is, even if it wasn't, it's weird to me. It's not the best. It's not the best. And when it comes to your health, why not go for the best? Why not go for, why would you sleep 6 hours when if you actually 7 hours would be better for you? And why would you sleep seven if 8 hours were better for you? Why would you be in a relationship with the person that you're kind of like 7 out of 10 like, rather than the 10 out of 10? There's no rational reason for it. There's only our own pattern, habits, and behavior and all that stuff. Steamed veggies, I've tried once again having a raw diet. I remember staying with a friend once a raw diet, but he made steamed veggies, and I'm talking about actual steamed veggies. When people say steamed veggies, they usually mean they go like to the Thai food restaurant and all that. That's not steamed veggies, but anyway, steam. One person I met once, steamed veggies meant I don't know fish and coffee and all sorts of weird stuff. It was not the picture they painted. Anyway, steamed veggies. Like, so taking cabbage and carrot and blah 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 and steaming it lightly, and he would put some avocado with it, some seasoning, salt-free seasoning. On the scale of the dinners, that was the healthiest dinner of probably everyone in a 10 mile radius of his house. He was probably the absolute healthiest person. Um, with just all these veggies, onion, carrot, cabbage, actual veggies, not starches, slightly different. So, and I had it a couple of times with him. At that time, I was a little bit on and off raw. I wasn't very strong on my raw game at that moment. And I thought, this is good actually. The first time, I thought, this is quite good. I think he had mixed in an avocado with it. Next day, I thought, this is quite good. Quite like this actually. Third or fourth day, I'm like, nah. Just like, nah, this is some weird aftertaste. It's, I don't know, I just started to not like it. Very quickly, I was just like, just want a salad. Like, why am I steaming? I can actually eat most of these things raw. Kind of prefer them raw. So steamed veggies is a weird one because raw veggies are better than steamed veggies almost every time. There's a few things you can't really eat that well raw. Maybe broccoli, but you can still kinda. Um, but it's just funny to me. Uh, so the steamed veggie thing, it's more to me like I just don't like it. I'd prefer to eat a salad, fresh, crunchy, watery, like it's not dehydrated and limp and all that. I'd rather have that. So it's a tremendously healthy thing to have steamed vegetables compared to the average person. Compared to the average, it's amazingly healthy. If we could get everyone doing that, the world would change in a big way. But that's not my where I'm at for myself personally. But I do think that when people tell you that they have steamed veggies now and again or once in a while, I don't know. I think they're a little bit. I don't know. They don't really want to tell you what they're doing if they're eating more cooked food. This is their way of like Ravana or some of these people. They kind of gradually let you know they're not actually raw vegan. Like they didn't say it overnight. They would say, okay, had some steamed veggies or I'll try it one time and it was all nonsense. Like obviously she'd eaten cooked food before she announced it. Obviously. Why are people happy to lie to their audience? I don't know. I really don't understand why people do that. They don't need the money, most of them. Like really, they don't. And people would much prefer honesty and much prefer, I'm not perfect. And if they had that mentality, they'd probably still be a raw vegan. One of the reasons I'm still raw vegan is that I didn't put that pressure on myself. I'm not a performing monkey. I don't need to be perfect for anyone else. I know that I'm doing it for me. So I'm going to keep on moving back to it because I'm doing it for me. But that, by extension, is doing it for everyone else because I want to be the healthiest, best version of myself so that I can feel good in the world and do good things and have the best conversations and all that stuff. Anyway, we're coming up to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share. Um, Comment below if you like. And let me know whatever, just whatever you want to say. Just comment or whatever. Or not.